Alright, what is good, ladies and gentlemen? It is the Master Reviewer back again with another review, and today we are doing a review for Ice Age: Dawn of the Dinosaurs. This is the third Ice Age movie, and I rewatched it, and so now we are doing a review for it. So let us just get started, starting off with the characters. So you have the main cast returning once again: Sid, Manny, Diego, all of them fun to see. Scrat is in this as well, but here in this one you specifically have Simon Pegg joining the cast as Buck, who I think is a great addition. He's a very fun character. He's basically like Crash and Eddie's also a weasel, but he is like very crazy and he is very knowledgeable about the world of the dinosaurs. Other than that, you have Ellie. She also returns. In this movie, she is pregnant with Peaches, who is a prominent character in the later films, but so she's pregnant with Peaches. Any other characters? You have the mommy dinosaur and the baby dinosaurs that I'll get to it in the plot, but they are also good. I wouldn't say that there's any bad characters really. I would just say that Diego, it kind of feels like he's kind of like, ever since the first movie, it feels like Diego doesn't really have anything to do really. And Sid also, he's not really part of the main cast, which is a bit of a shame because he does have good chemistry with a lot of the characters. So that is, but it's still good. He still interacts well with I guess the Mama Dino. That's what she's listed here as, and the dinosaur baby. So. In terms of the characters, I'm going to give the characters a 7 out of 10. I'd say that they are pretty good, and definitely the highlight though is Buck, as played by Simon Pegg. He is very fun to watch and a very great addition to the cast of characters. In terms of the plot / adventure, the plot is basically, it starts out with, so you have Ellie, she's pregnant with a child, and so Manny and Ellie are very happy about it, but Diego, he kind of feels like, this isn't like the place for him anymore. Like, he feels kind of like the herd is like moving on without him, kind of, and he has like nothing to do in life basically. So he feels like he should just move on, go somewhere to like pursue his own adventure basically. And Sid, he feels like kind of sad about this. He's like, oh, Diego's leaving, Manny's moving on with his family, so he feels kind of like the herd is like breaking up. So Sid ends up finding these eggs that were hidden in a cave, which, by the way, I don't know why the eggs were in a cave. I don't understand why the Mama Dino wouldn't have. I guess now looking back on it, it might have been to hide them from Rudy, which, by the way, he's the main antagonist, I guess, of the villain, which is the we'll get to him a bit later. But so Sid finds these eggs, and then he basically takes them, he cares for them, and then the eggs end up hatching, and then they turn into their baby dinosaur. They were dinosaur eggs, so now Sid is taking care of 3 baby dinosaurs, and they end up trashing the playground that Manny ended up building for when Peaches gets born. And so the Mama Dino ends up coming up to the surface world to retrieve her baby dinosaurs, and so she ends up doing so, but she also takes Sid along with her. So now the movie is basically that Manny, the herd basically has to retrieve Sid from the dinosaur world. So they go down there, and then they end up meeting Buck, and it is he helps them navigate the dino world, and eventually all this is happening while Ellie's pregnant. So eventually during the adventure, she ends up giving birth to Peaches, and they end up retrieving Sid. They manage to retrieve Sid, but then throughout the movie they're also talking about Rudy, who's this like basically the most menacing dinosaur that there is. And so they eventually encounter Rudy, and it's a bit, I'm gonna be honest, it's a bit anticlimactic. Like, they do hype him up really well, like in the backstory with Buck, where it's like how he lost his eye. It's like a fantastic backstory, I would say. And they really hype up Rudy, but then when you see him at the end, it's like, I guess he's menacing. They do a great job of like portraying all the dinosaurs. They do all feel pretty menacing, like especially the Mama T-Rex. Her introduction was very good. They do feel like this imposing threat and stuff. So, and Rudy also, like, they hype him up a lot, but then he gets defeated like pretty quickly. So I didn't actually like that as much. For some reason, I didn't. It's been a while since I saw this movie, so I thought that he like got defeated at the lava area. So, but I guess that apparently didn't happen. He just gets defeated by the Mama Dino, and relatively quickly. So that's a bit of a shame that he got defeated so easily. So, and so anyway, yeah. So the day is saved, and they offered, but everyone's like happy that they're all back together. Diego's like, I'm not gonna leave the herd. I'm gonna stay here. And Sid is all happy that they're all back together. So all's well that ends well. And Buck, he like says like, the herd says like, you can come back with us to the surface world if you have nothing to do. And so, but then Rudy is revealed to be alive. So Buck's like, no, I'm gonna stay here in the dinosaur world. So he ends up staying. So the plot, I will give I think it's about like I would say it's about as good as the last plot of the last movie. It feels like the stakes aren't as high with like the last one having like a big flood and stuff, but it is interesting with like the dinosaur aspects of it. So I'm gonna give the plot I'll go with a 6 out of 10. I'd say it was above average probably. The plot / adventure, I would give it a 6 out of 10. I did like all the scenes where it's like they're going through the dinosaur world, so you have like the jungle of misery with like that plant that eats them. That's one of my favorite scenes in the movie. The chasm of the chasm of despair, where it's like they're huffing I think it was probably like nitrous oxide, like the laughing gas. So that was a good scene. The plates of woe, they weren't as interesting. The lava bit at the end, that was fine, I guess. But yeah, there were good areas in this movie. So let's just move on to the settings. The settings I thought were. I liked it. I thought that, especially the introduction, when you first get introduced to this world of dinosaurs, it reminded me of like an area from like Skylanders. It looked very nice, and so I think it was good. It is a bit of a shame, like once again, it is like the Ice Age franchise, and so it's just like the last movie. I felt like I didn't really like the settings because you don't see that much ice as much as I was hoping for. And this one, it's also kind of like I do wish, it's a shame that you don't see as much ice, except for like the beginning you do see ice, but then after that it is the dinosaur world. But once again, the dinosaur world, it's a nice setting. I would say that I would give it like a 5.5. It was decent, and yeah, it has some good areas that I did enjoy. So I think that probably a better setting than the last film, I'd say. In terms of the art style, I would give the art style a 5.5. Again, it's decent. It's not anything special. It is. It's in 2009. It came out, so at this point, it's like it's pretty modern art style. Like it doesn't look. It looks like very basic, like nothing to really comment on. It's just a basic art style, and so 5.5 I'm going to give it. In terms of the comedy aspects, there were some good lines. There was a lot of adult humor, which I did notice. Like there are a lot of jokes that I did not get as a child that I understood now. So I'll give the comedy I'll go with a 6 out of 10. I'd say it was above average. There were some good lines and there were moments where I was laughing, definitely. So in terms of the family aspect, I would give the family aspect probably it's pretty similar to the last film, where it's like last film, Sid was like, he felt unappreciated, and he kind of felt like the herd didn't appreciate him. In this one, it's like it's better, I would say, because it's like Sid thinks that everyone's like breaking up. Diego is also kind of leaving, and so it does feel like there's some more family stuff going on here. So, and there is obviously the birth of Peaches. So I would say the family stuff is, I give it like a 5.5. I'd say decent. Like it's fine. It's just not. It's kind of difficult to rate the family aspects of films and stuff. I don't really know how to go about it. It's just like what I think about like how they bonded as a family, and I'd say they bonded decently as a family in this film. Once again, it's a shame that like Sid is not part of the main cast for most of the film, so that is a bit upsetting. But what are you gonna do about it? The drama, I would say the drama basically comes from like how they need to get back Sid before like something bad happens to him, and also I guess Diego kind of leaving it towards the start. There's like some drama with like the herd kind of breaking up, but then it's like they have to save Sid, and also Rudy like being antagonist and stuff. So I'd say the drama, it was 5.5, decent. I guess not really too. It's fine. Just yeah, 5.5. I'd give it decent. In terms of the worst thing, probably just like, I guess the way Rudy was at the end, like. I was thinking at the start of the film, like maybe the start was going to be the worst thing, because it is kind of like it takes like half an hour until they get to the dinosaur world. So, and it's like an hour 30-minute film, so it is a bit like slow to get to the main course. But the actual like the finish with Rudy, like at the end, where it's like you do think it's like they hype him up so much, but then he gets defeated like pretty easily. Yeah, I would probably just say like Rudy's character, I guess, towards the end, like the final showdown with him, it was not good, I'd say. So I'm gonna actually get the score sheet out, and I'm thinking it was between. I'll give it a 4.5. I'd say it was not good. Just didn't really like how they handled the ending with Rudy. I thought it could have been a bit better. So in terms of the best thing, I would say the best thing is probably I'll say Buck's character, Simon Pegg. The addition of him is very fun to see. I would say that he is a very good character. I would give him a 7.5. I did like him a lot, so 7.5 for Simon Pegg, Buck's character. So any extra notes that I have? Sid as a parent, it was cool to see Sid as like trying to act as a parent and stuff. I did like that, and I did like the stuff where it's like he was anytime he was like just, speaking with the mama dinosaur and stuff. Like I liked all the scenes with Sid, even if he was away from the main cast. It's like his character. It's like so he's able to like be enjoyable, no matter interacting with like whoever. So I did like Sid as a parent. The dinosaurs, once again, the dinosaurs did feel very intimidating. I did like how they portrayed the dinosaurs. It did feel good. What else? They made a Flintstones reference, which I did not really understand the first time I watched this film, but now I understand it. It was weird, like the plant that ends up swallowing Diego and Manny. I thought like they said Buck was like in 5 minutes or 3 minutes they'll be like digested, but so I was assuming like the liquid that was filling up in the plant, it was like acid that was supposed to like melt them, but they were fine. Like they didn't start melting. So I don't know why they didn't start like I don't know why that. I thought it was acid, so I thought it would like hurt them, but it didn't. So what else? That is pretty much all the extra notes I have, so I'm going to do the calculations. So King Crimson. Alright, so it ends up coming out to about a 6 out of 10, which would be above average, and I think I would probably give it like a between a 5.5 to a 6. I think it was between decent and above average. I'd say that on rewatch, it's probably a bit worse than I think as a kid I like this more, and as an adult, just rewatching it, I think that I do notice like some issues I didn't really notice as a kid. So, but I would still give it like between a 5.5 to a 6. I think it's between decent and above average. Also, I didn't really talk about Scrat in this film, because in this one he's just fighting with this female squirrel named Scrate. That's what's listed here as her name. So he's just basically fighting with her, like to try to get the acorn. And I didn't really care. I don't really care for the scrap bits, to be honest. I like the scrap bits when they're like extremely chaotic, when he does something like in the first film when it's like he causes like immense destruction. That's what those are the scrap bits I like. And luckily in the next film I do think he does have more of those bits where it's like continental drift, so he is going to cause like the continents to split and stuff. And I think in the final movie it's like he does cause like an action, like a comet to go towards Earth. So I am the scrap bits in the next two movies I do think I am excited to see. And there's a sixth movie. I always forget that there's not 5 movies, there's a sixth one, like The Adventures of Buck Wild, that I always forget about, because I watched it one time and I'll say it now, that was probably the worst film in the franchise. But anyway, so yeah, that is pretty much all there is to it. If you have any recommendations, any shows, movies, video game stories, anime, web series, anything that you want me to review, leave it in the comments and I will maybe possibly check it out. But with that said, that is pretty much all there is to it, so let's leave it at that.